Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. Rodney Nemuth,
David Apple,
welcome back.
I'm here. Here we go. I love the place. It's really come together. I mean,
Yeah.
I sit here and I look around and it's like the first time I came out here when it was still under construction, and
Yeah.
now it's like,
Yeah.
it'll never be a finished product in
No.
your mind, but it's the product that you have currently is,
Yeah.
is pretty astonishing. So it's a
Feels
wonderful
good.
thing.
Yeah, we're in the back of the feed store, I guess. This is it's the front of the feed store. It's the coffee bar.
Yeah.
The coffee
It's
hangout
wonderful.
stuff. And
It is a place you can hang out. That's for sure.
yeah, we've been really blessed, and it's just going like gangbusters.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, welcome back, and full disclosure, your second time on.
Second time.
First time anybody knows about it.
Nobody ever will, but there was a first.
I promptly erased our entire interview.
Well, that's okay.
So we appreciate you.
Pilot errors are what you have as you're trying to get somewhere that's worth getting to. So
I am from Jersey. I do have a creative cursing ability, in that I use them all up
that's okay.
about 1 o'clock in the morning when I realized I had erased the entire file instead of a few points. So, but we're back. I think, tell us your title with Frost Bank.
I am Senior Vice President, and for the North Texas region, Denton specifically, Denton and surrounding areas around North Texas, I am what Frost calls the community leader, which kind of translates to a market president.
Yeah.
At most other types of banks, they would be a market president, but title at Frost is called community leader. So.
Yeah. And so, we have the pleasure of working with you.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about kind of how this all came about.
Okay.
But I know Frost has always had a little bit of a different, kind of philosophy. Mission,
a little bit.
We always knew them when we were down in Collin County and further south.
Mm-hmm.
We always knew them as like, the pool lender.
Yeah.
The construction lender.
Right.
Kind of I don't know technical term for those loans, but some offshoot loans there so they were always the recommended one. And I know now you guys are branching out a little bit, and I know you don't have much retail presence up here in Grayson County, but you guys are fully active in the North Texas
100%
region and stuff
100%.
like that. And now you are, Frost is supporting us with a really nice line of credit. It's allowing us to expand, manage inventory.
Yep. Exactly what it's for.
People are, it's really hard to explain. In all my years in private equity backed companies and startups and stuff, this slow moving retail, there's some things that move really fast. There's some things
you guys aren't slow moving,
but it's the inventory, and it's not necessarily first in, first out. Some commodities go real fast. Some things on the back end go real slow. Realizing that revenue back is difficult.
Right.
Things are exceptionally expensive now. I mean, just, one of my counterparts down in South Texas, they run a very big family owned hardware feed store, 12-acre big store. He was explaining in the late 80s, early 90s, the margins were about 40-45%, which is not much
exceptional
than today. Like, we could still do 30-35%. But the problem is we're keeping a lot less of that.
Yeah.
Like, there's just, there's so many more expenses that are
a lot of overhead.
So if you're not careful about cash in and cash out, you can get yourself behind, very quickly. So,
exactly.
So that's been great with, Frost came in and helped us with that. So that's how we met. We've been just loving the relationship, and it's just got us on track.
Likewise.
Looking at it different. But, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was people come in here all the time. We're a small town surrounded by other small towns. This thing that we're doing is not that common anymore.
It's amazing that it's not. It really is.
And it's frustrating in a sense, but you also see the challenges. I mean, how much capital has to go out and things. So people come in, ask us a lot of questions. Hey, how do you do it? And there's this, if you look back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, right? Probably up to 96, 97, banking was retail banking. Your mortgage, your car payment, everything was, now things weren't 7x salary then.
Right.
But, you relied on your local banking relationship to make things happen. And And, right around the late 90s, that all changed because now you got the internet emerging, got all these
Right.
different companies. Now owners of those companies are pulling their personal money together. They're making these hedge funds and they're
Hmm.
buying other companies.
Hmm.
And here comes the private equity space.
Right.
So now there's two kind of lending channels. And, it's completely different. I mean, because you're talking about lending with significant ownership and private equity side and,
Hmm.
you know, big time angel investors. It's a different story. So when you look at something like this, just this local business, um, you still in your mind, you go, oh, I'm just going to write up a business plan, bring it over to my banker
Hmm.
in town. And he's like, that's a great idea. Let's write
Right.
you a check and we're off and running and we're partners. And that doesn't happen. Hasn't happened in, probably 30 plus years.
It doesn't. I mean, you can get into, like those type of situations where you're coming up with a business plan and pro forma, financials and everything, what it's going to look like, hopefully in
Yep.
3 to 5 years or something. And you can go the SBA route and try to do it that way. It's expensive, even more expensive to do it that way because there's fees associated with SBA lending and you got to find the right person, the right bank, and have a kind of a synthesis of opportunity with it. So it's difficult, but not extinct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's just, there's it's kind of this perception of money, just like someone's got it.
mhm.
It should be lent out. My
Right.
idea is the best idea. So what would you say to, like, I mean, say it's a family member, say
Mhm.
it's one of your kids or something
Mhm.
and said, hey, I got this great idea. Maybe I have a little bit of I've just sold locally and I got a little bit of pool money, but now
Mhm.
I want to buy a building or I want to open my restaurant or,
Right.
buy the food trail or whatever the case is. What would be the tactical kind of like steps that you would look at?
Well, the
What are the
best
things you make sure of that they should have?
Yeah, well, the best way to that it can hopefully happen for people like that is that it happens organically.
Mm.
Is that the money you're making in, you take a portion of that money so that you can grow over time without taking on a lot of leverage because leverage is wonderful in some cases. Sometimes it's an anchor in other cases.
Yeah.
It depends on how you deploy that capital that you have been, gotten approval from the bank to have access to, but it's how you deploy it and then making sure that those funds are specifically used for that purpose and that you don't. The business plan model is a great example, is that you have a plan and you follow that plan rather than make these, you know, instantaneous decisions on impulse to say, oh, hey, let's go do this, or hey, let's do this while we're doing this. I've seen in so many situations with, companies I've banked in the past where they take on, a portion of debt and then they use that portion of debt for something other than what it was designed to provide for, and then it gets them in trouble. So come up with a plan and stick to that plan. Now there can be little offshoots to that plan that you can take advantage of.
Yeah.
But usually those offshoots need to have a very high return of success rather than just a whim kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is great advice because even as guarded as we thought we were, like in building this little business,
Uh-huh.
it's you're presented with the pivot every day,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh, you
Right.
need to do this, or oh, we need a bigger hayloft. We need, this inventory, and you're like, oh, but this cash is for,
Exactly.
payroll or
Right.
something or
Well,
infrastructure.
it's the same as like your personal finances.
Yeah.
If you have a job that's providing this amount of salary or this amount of money per month in hourly wage, you know that you have to pay your car payment, your mortgage, and your utilities. But you also got to go to the grocery store. There's some things that you can kind of wiggle with. There's other things that you can't. The mortgage payment, that's a set payment.
Yeah.
Car payment, set payment. Insurance, set payment.
Mhm.
Your utilities, you can turn off the fan. You can turn down the air conditioner. You can eat ramen instead of T-bone steak.
Yeah,
It's just where you can massage the numbers to, fit everything in and still be successful going forward.
Yeah. It's great advice. And I don't think there's, kind of the other point to that is like, I don't think there's much being presented. So let's just call it, we've met, 24 people who are
Mhm.
entrepreneurial, have good ideas.
Right. Right.
And there's nothing, the counties aren't offering grants, the city, there's
Yeah.
this horrible word of abatements, that's going
Mm-hmm.
around now with the
Mm-hmm.
data centers and all this other stuff. It's like nobody's being presented anything.
Right.
So it's hard to say what the first step is. And when we said, we super blessed to have cash.
Yeah.
Where we were like, hey, what do we want to do? This is something we always want to do.
Well,
It's
even
got a
better than
bucket
the
list.
cash, the idea that you had to do this and the spot that you did it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's paramount that you
Yeah.
had all that come together at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other, there's a lot of other coaching to that,
Mhm.
how you treat customers and what you
100%.
sell. And
100%.
there's all those. And, generally you see people who are, receiving money from their hardworking neighbors and friends,
Mhm.
treating them very well.
Correct.
So that's, and doing well because they're treating them well. Like
Mhm.
that's a recipe for success. No doubt
100%.
about it. But it's still like this. If you say we didn't have all that cash, but we have this idea and we're, selling it just, the more we get into it, we're like, man, it's really not a friendly small business
Mhm.
world anymore.
Mhm.
It's just, I grew up in a postcard town in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, beach on one side, farms on the other, bike racks in front of every
Yeah.
store.
Idyllic.
Yeah, idyllic.
Yeah.
You'd walk down the street and it was like your buddy to the right of you would have to duck because his dad owns the pizza place and he's supposed to be working and he would duck under there,
Right.
and then the next shop was another friend's parents. Everybody had 2 cars in the driveway. They all could afford to go to school,
Mhm.
college, and mortgages were paid.
Yep.
Whether you were a cop, little sub shop owner, whatever the case is. And it's like, man, not only do we miss it,
Mhm.
but like, where is it? What is it? Has it just become this massive tech, you know, uh, private equity, BlackRock world
Mhm.
where it's if we want returns, we want massive returns. The investment into the pizza shop
Right.
isn't big and fast enough for you. Now, yep, Bobby, you have 5 locations and we want to make it 500 locations. Now we're talking. But you just,
Right.
opening up another one or needing a few bucks to get more ingredients and launch a few more pizzas, nobody's interested in that anymore. It just doesn't seem like there's that much flow or emphasis behind it. Like everyone's in this big
Yeah,
picture.
it does sometimes seem like that. And everybody's trying to eat the elephant with one bite now rather than 1,000 small ones.
Yeah.
And, it does still exist. Like I said, with, SBA financing, that's one way. The main issue with attaining entry level financing for those type of things is how long have you been in business? And typically banks want to say, okay, 2 to 3 years of business, timeline.
Yeah.
It just depends on the bank that you go to. At Frost, we're dead set, and our lineage goes back over almost 160 years. Was the largest Texas-based bank, and we really put a lot into community development and being a part of the community and helping the community. I mean, there's things that we do as a bank that people never see, working with local hospitals and homeless shelters and food banks and different things like that. But because all of that helps the community grow and improve, just like your store here, Tom Bean Feed. You provide a great service. I mean, people previous to you going into business had to go elsewhere and didn't have this type of environment to acquire the needs that they have for their farms or their property or their livestock. And so that's kind of like Frost is we want to go in and provide a service for the community, but not be a drain on it. We want to provide a lifeline to, help and improve that community. Yeah. So there are cases where, like with Frost, we have the ability in some cases where if we see, that there is a possibility, we have a little bit more autonomy in our areas of operation where we can say, like, you know what, that makes sense. And based on a smaller rather than 2 to 3 years of business history, say it's been 2, 3, 6, 12 months, we can say, you know what, I think that's going to work.
Yeah.
And we can come in and, it wouldn't be like $10 million. It might be
sure
$1 million or 500,000 or 250,000 to start off with. But when we, use that money and deploy it correctly for the intentions that it was meant for, then we can expand on that as we move down the road, as the business grows, and improve that and accentualize it and make sure we're putting everything in place for business continuity and success.
Do you think that's you're talking about kind of being able to make a little bit more personal human decision?
100%. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're a relationship bank.
Yeah. Cause we talked about this before, but it's like, I mean, the reason you guys are here, nobody was mean, right? Like nobody was like, everybody we met with was great.
Yeah.
But there was limitations.
Yeah.
Behind that, right? There was limitations of how they could lend,
right.
And it seemed like you, as great as the people we were sitting across from, and as much as we wanted to partner with them, things were out of their control.
Yeah.
A way the risk was assessed and everything like that.
Right.
That's where we really got upset. It was like, I mean, you're here, you're sitting here, you're watching the customers come in.
Yeah.
We show you the bank statements. We show you everything that needs to be shown. And it's just like, well, no, now we need, 2023, first quarter of this, and, and it's like, what happens to this expense back up? And you're like, man, we're not big enough to have all the specific accounting and stuff like that. Like, just come and live the experience a little bit, see what's going on.
And
here.
That's what makes the most amount of sense, from me as a banker working for a bank like Frost is you come out, you put boots on the ground, you meet the people, you see the environment.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Do I believe in it?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. And so, okay, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
And so now if you're going to get into the situations where you've got $10 million of debt that's in question, then I can see that we get, we have to really dial down and dive down deeply into the financials and what was this?
Sure.
You got to know everything. So I can see those being questions at that size, but for, smaller type things, it's like, do you believe in the concept? Do you believe in the idea? Let's go with that.
Yeah. What would you call a small business now, revenue wise?
Man, it depends on, I would call a small business anything up to about, I guess, 5 million in revenue.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think about, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, it's a different world now.
Yeah.
Right? When we were kids in the 90s and stuff, that would have been a big business.
And you were mentioning that earlier about the pizza place and, the hardware store or whatever, they were family owned. And there's a certain nostalgia for that. And I think that's what people are actually looking for concepts like yours, Tom Bean Feed, is that it takes them back. It's like a time machine. It's like, man, that's what it used to be like, the hand scrape wood floors and you go in and there's a candy store and there's, you go in and grab a soda pop and you have to pop it off with the actual, bottle opener. People long for that. People yearn for that old time feeling with service first, taking care of the person knows my name when I walk in the front door.
Yeah.
That's no different than what we are as a bank. One thing to take pride in is service first and knowing our customers.
Yeah. We used to say all the time, and people would ask us like, hey, what's been the most unexpected, benefit to all this? We said is people are craving it and we didn't know it.
Right.
We craved it.
Yeah.
But we didn't know it.
Right.
And it's the amount of effort that they are, we'll call it like sacrifices, not like crazy sacrifices. The amount of sacrifices they're making to do, to be like, okay, if you guys don't have it, I can wait a couple of days.
Right.
Because I want to spend my money here. Man, you're talking about like, I get you up in the morning.
Yeah.
It keeps you here until 12 o'clock at night.
It's a spiritual reward almost.
Spiritual reward.
Yeah.
100%. And all the friends. I mean, we've had people meet here.
Yeah.
And then we go to their wedding and then, we're watching their babies.
Yeah.
And it's like,
because you're part of the community.
Part of the community, part of those families. And that's like, it was really blindsiding. Like I keep making this point. It was just blindsiding. Like, man, nobody wants to be like a part of this. Like I thought
it's beautiful.
I thought we'd have like all these cars pulling up, so my, I always tell a story. My dad was pretty well known in our small town and stuff. And he was a good business guy and stuff. And that, how he was as a dad is for another podcast, but as a business, and everyone
I want to listen to that one.
Yeah. But, I grew up in a little town called Manasquan. It's an Indian name, but it's a little coastal town. It's beautiful. We had Manasquan Savings. Everything was Manasquan Savings, the mortgage, the car, the college savings, everything was there.
Yeah.
And guess who would be like at barbecues?
Yeah.
The president of the bank.
Yeah.
Like hanging out. Like,
Mhm.
how can I help you today? It's just,
Right.
and you're just like, man. And so I guess we just, like I said, let's known for that world again where,
Yeah.
there's these relationships and, and people really want to know how you're doing. Like,
Mhm.
like, we have a mutual friend. That's how you got here.
Yeah.
Pearson, who's I just don't even have enough words to explain. Like
Pearson's great.
none of
Yeah.
this happens without him.
Yeah. Pearson's great.
He just took over for us.
Mhm.
And helped us complete the construction, move money and manage
Mhm.
money, get you on board,
Right.
interview all the other banks, did all sort of stuff. And it's a key piece, because like you said it before, it's like this key piece of this business world is you gotta have mentors, you gotta have
Right.
friends. I know Stacy and I could do a lot of things on our own, but we can't do everything.
Mhm.
And we're going to
Mhm.
make bad decisions. We're going to miss payments.
Mhm.
We're going to miss invoices.
Yep.
And those are killers. Those are small business
Right.
killers, right? Because you got these big vendors. You go plus 30 days, 60 days, you're cut off.
Yeah.
Got to buy back in, you got to do all sort of stuff, hurt your credit,
Right.
And so it's, it's a village. It's a village now because you
100%.
don't have all those relationships
Right.
at the bank. Like in my dad's situation, like he knew everybody.
Mhm.
I mean, he could drop his mail off there. They'd
That's
mail it
great.
out. It
Yeah.
was just because it was just, part of the community. So, so having, those resources, and you guys have been great. Obviously it's not that personal, but it's
Mhm.
it's way more personal than any of the options out there and stuff like that. And so, and staying on that Pearson point, we call him CFO. But,
Yeah.
who knows?
That's what I would call
We
them.
never decided on
Right.
titles for anybody, but I think one of the recommendations we make to a lot of small business owners is team up with those people.
Mhm.
You have them in your camp.
And it might be, hey, I'm not here to sell Frost over every other bank.
Yeah.
If you have a relationship with some other bank that you really trust and really value, stay with them.
Yeah.
If they take care of everything for you, if they answer the phone when you call them, stay with them.
Mhm.
Okay. But if they don't, look for other options, because those options are out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And ask for those resources. I don't think it's a bad thing to say, hey, what's my team look like?
Mhm.
And whether it's $50,000, 100, like who's the manager at the bank that I'm going to be talking to? Who's doing my accounts? Stacy and I have been with Chase for forever, and we kind of faded away from them. And then, I can't remember what the situation was. Maybe it was when we were kind of getting ready for this, and we had a bunch of cash, and we wanted to make sure we moved it properly. But then all of a sudden it was like this massive global bank.
Mhm.
We walked into Sherman, they like presented their team to us at the conference room, right? Like, it was like, hey, I'm the money manager. Here's your local banker. Here's the, great idea. Everybody knows each other. They're all local. I was like, oh, okay. This is like, this feels good again.
Yeah.
This massive, Jamie Dimon run bank, out of Lower Manhattan now has this little personal team. We all have the same friends, and, and so you're like, okay, all right. Here we go. We're working back. They value the deposits again, and, going through that stuff. But yeah, so it's an interesting world. Trying to, like, what would your, from having your asks, I'm getting ready. So let's just say I'm a year into a business, making a little bit of revenue. Maybe you're not profiting yet or something like that, but you're floating along. It's a coffee truck, or, and it's doing well. People love you. What do you want to have prepared? I'm getting ready to have my meeting with Rodney. I'm looking for a little bit of, small line of credit or something to expand the business. What should I have buttoned up?
Your financial reporting, number one, is you should have some balance sheet, income statement / profit and loss statement. Quality reporting can get you a lot further than just reporting. And when I say quality, I mean somebody that is actually managing your financial reporting, putting in your expenses versus your your expenses versus your income, and managing everything, because it's not just what your profitability is, it's what your EBITDA is, your earnings before income tax, depreciation, and amortization. Because you may have a net loss, in a given quarter or year or whatever, but there are add backs that you push back into that cash flow, what you would be able to use to obtain financing for whatever purpose.
Okay.
So all that can add back, and then it would be, you'd say, oh, you have this, bright light kind of happen in your head to where it's like, okay, it looks like I'm losing money on the bottom line, but actually I can service debt when I take these other factors into consideration. But you wouldn't know that unless you have quality reporting where somebody that is actually taking the time to push that information to QuickBooks or Peachtree or whatever it is, whatever financial engine you're using, to be able to create those reports to then hand to a banker, an underwriter, a credit approval officer to say, hey, I want this. How can I get there?
Yeah.
But it's the financial reporting and the management of that and the creation of that and the ongoing management of it. That's
So
really
it probably
paramount.
doesn't hurt to have some basic skills like learning QuickBooks, right?
Yes.
You start your business.
Yes.
That's an obvious one that everyone,
Yes.
kind of knows. It's not easy to
100%.
use. You will stay up late often.
Yeah.
Definitely have your point of sale if you are doing retail or whatever, those connected and expenses. So that's really important, because you don't want, if somebody's measuring or looking at the risk or the underwriting
Right.
of your bank, has got to ask a bunch of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Got to constantly search for things. It slows things down, and it probably just
Right.
it hurts the process.
Well, another thing that I would recommend is, somebody that might be in that situation and they think that their financials are in good order, go to your local bank. Sit with a banker that knows credit and financial reporting and say, hey, what do these look like?
Yeah.
Do you see any issues, in the format and the numbers, the way the numbers are displayed or what's on there? Is it robust enough, or is there too much information? Sit down with somebody and say, how does this look? What changes or adjustments would you consider? So
yeah, that's a good point. I like that, because you got to ask those questions. I mean,
yeah,
I graduated as a finance major, from New York City, and could not do accounting.
It amazes me. You do not sound like a New Jersey, New York City guy.
I fixed it.
You did. You did a good job.
Put me in traffic.
The expletives are coming out.
I can put some. My friends used to call my dad the best compound cursor.
Oh yeah,
he can mix and match.
He's got the belt.
Oh yeah, just world champion. He hits himself with the hammer. Hits himself with the hammer and the thumb.
Oh yeah,
watch out.
Yeah, I was this morning. I had one of my steers get out, and I might have got close to getting a achievement award. But yeah. So,
but yeah, and but I couldn't do accounting.
Yeah,
I couldn't do accounting. I and I was finance. I could do, I loved commodity trading. Everybody in my world, I graduated in college in the late 90s. Everybody was going to be an investment bank.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's
what you do in New York City.
And then it crashed, and, everyone looked for something else to do.
2008.
Yeah. And, well, I'm talking about the internet crash before.
Oh, okay.
That,
yeah.
Because
even
then
before that.
Yeah. It was, people were throwing darts, making
dollars. Anything.com.
Then all of a sudden they had to, they had to reevaluate.
Right.
And learn some earning ratios and stuff, and that leveled the playing field a little bit. But I couldn't do accounting, and I remember when we were growing, and I met Pearson and stuff, and I'm like, and he just starts flapping off these questions, like, before he even said like, hey, I can give you a hand, it was just, hey, what are you doing for a line of credit? How are you managing your inventory? And I'm like, truck comes, I write a check, and he's like, well, you're going to crash and burn like that.
Yeah.
You're going to write too many checks.
Right.
You get a week of snow, you get a week of rain, there's a lot of variables, a drought, whatever the case is, and you're going to be screwed, because no one's going to say to you, hey, float this money for a little while until the weather clears. Heck no, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But so it's under having, like you said, having those books buttoned up, but then let somebody teach you.
Have somebody teach you, and have processes in place that get improved but don't change as you move down the line.
Yeah. And I think you make a great point with that. And that's why I keep hitting on it, because it's true. Like, our ability, Pearson, to clean up not clean them up, just straighten them out. We're in this really nice, tight look. and our ability to repurpose those things
Right.
on a regular basis.
100%.
Right. So we had, partnership to start this business. And it was just meant to be like temporary because they had great relationships with some of the bigger vendors so they could get us through the door, because we can't just call them up and,
Right.
Nutrina, Bryant feeds, all these big feeds, and just say, hey, we're a new feed store. They'd be like, hell no,
Yeah.
but we were able to leverage these. So we dissolved that. That's a whole different bookkeeping, because now you make sure you're taking care of that. And there's K1s and partnership returns and all that
Yep.
other stuff that goes into
Right.
that. And then now it's moving forward as a separate entity with our personal money in there and how that's accounted for and how that comes back to us. Now you're talking about, just lack of a better term, like remortgaging the property now,
Refinancing.
it,
Right.
getting some of that money back from recouping the construction.
Right.
There's a lot there. And as a business owner, Stacey and I have to be at that front door greeting customers all day.
That's right.
I've been in the truck 3 times already
That's
today.
why you need the professionals in your back pocket to help you along the way, to teach you, to educate you, but also to take care of the things that they need to take care of that are their specialties while you're at the front door and doing the big decision stuff.
Yeah. So I would urge everyone just to, go through. We got really discouraged early, we're like, man, this can't be the way it is, and we didn't take the bait or anything like that, but it's like, I encourage everyone to just take a deep breath.
That's
got
the thing.
Something good.
Once you get everything set up to where you have the right people in the right places doing the things that they are good at, it is easy.
Yeah.
But it's the process of getting to that point that's the difficulty.
Yeah.
So it's just, you got to find everybody's strength and weakness and then plug them into their strength.
Yeah.
And to find somebody else to take care of their weakness.
And that's going to be your challenge forever. I mean, when as employees and growing and all sort of stuff. And I like that because now we got like a book now,
Right.
And
right.
we still, it's still being written, but if we, we want to expand again, we want to move some things around.
You want to expand? Come on, David.
We need a bigger store already. But, we want more hardware and all this other stuff, but now we don't have to sit there and answer all these questions because it's time to use other people's money. I mean, honestly, it's not, it's time for David and Stacey to stop writing checks.
I 100% agree.
An institution like Frost wants to be a part of it.
Right.
Heck, they would love for us to be $100 million. I mean, that's why you do it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, we grow with us and, we have a piece of that and, there's deposits and there's money, and there's interest and there's all that stuff that kind of goes into how the retail, banks make money. So it's been really kind of helps us sleep a little bit better at night.
I hope so.
Just open up that book. If we have another conversation, here's all the financials.
Right. It makes it easy.
And they're done and they're good. We have good bookkeepers. We have Pearson. It's such an important part. We
is.
Watch people struggle all the time.
So to get to where you are now, so we went through a number of different steps to get to here. But the steps going forward, just like putting the right people in the right places and, putting people that have strengths in their positions and taking care of the other people that may have weaknesses in other places, is that going forward, it's a lot easier because we've already built a considerable amount of history.
Yep.
And with all the information that we've already acquired from you, is going forward, it's not as difficult as the first step because it just gets easier. Just like, managing inventory or managing expenses for the feed store. It just gets easier because you've done it and you have that experience and the knowledge that came with it to keep moving forward. So it just gets easier from here.
Yeah, we're so excited.
Unless you open 5 more stores.
Well, okay. I know you know us, but you don't know us.
Yeah.
There's going to be more.
There has to be.
There's going to be something.
This can't be it.
Yeah.
It's just, you've developed a kind of a really cool concept with it's eclectic, but knowledgeably eclectic.
Yeah.
There's a process behind the whole thing.
Yeah. So we don't have the ability to stay still.
Yeah.
And which is, I guess that's how you get to these points.
Well, you're a nomad, so
we're going to do really well with this property. We can leverage property 2, take off with property 2. Now we're looking at property 3 and 4. 2 years from now, we wake up and we're $25 million company. How far does Frost go with that? Like,
all the way. Yeah. I mean, the size that Frost is, we might at some point when, say it gets up to, 9, 10 figures of debt, then we might bring in another bank, as a partner in that. But we're going to continue on with it until we can do. Frost is big enough that we do everything that the big banks do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we're only in Texas.
Yeah.
And we don't have any branches outside the state of Texas.
Honestly, that of all the things that we just talked about for the last 20 minutes, that's what I wanted you to say, because I want people to understand that not all of them, but the retail bank can still be a part of this community. It can be
1,000%, and it should be.
And it should be.
It should be.
I mean, we really had rainbows and unicorn thoughts. Like the bank would put up their big wood sign, out front.
Right.
And this is like we're handshaking and, on the news and that didn't necessarily happen. We thought it was going to happen a little bit with a local bank, but it just, they just couldn't. Just everything was just became really automated really quickly.
Right.
You
have to be able to see past the numbers a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm really happy that you said that. I'm happy that you said like, hey, we can go all the way. Get your books in
quality financial reporting.
Yeah. Get help with that.
100%. There's a lot of people that can do that.
There's a lot of bookkeepers. There's a lot of QuickBook nerds. You probably have one in your friend group you don't even know about.
Take your financials, whatever condition they're in, and go see any banker that you might know or any bank that's around town. Ask for whoever's in the commercial group there or whatever business banker, and just say, I just want to get your opinion on these.
Yeah.
Where would you adjust? What would you improve?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's good advice. So tell me a little bit more about Frost. So I know Frost goes back. Frost is all Texas.
All Texas.
So
been around for 160 years. We were created in 1868 by T.C. Frost, San Antonio, Texas. We're still headquartered in San Antonio. Always will be.
Okay.
We have no branches anywhere other than the state of Texas. We have permeated basically every region of the state. Within the last 3 to 4 years, we have tripled the number of branches that we have specific to Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Corpus Christi,
now, is that
Austin, San Antonio.
Corporate organic growth, or is that acquisition?
No, we don't. The last bank that we acquired was probably around 20 years ago. We do all of it organically. Whenever you acquire a different bank, you acquire poor assets and different cultures. And so we prefer to hire most of our people, if we're hiring people, we hire certain types of people that, have a certain skill set personally, because the three main pillars of our culture are integrity, caring, and excellence. We have to take classes on that when you start at Frost. And it's a 6-month process to go through the integrity, caring, and excellence training to make sure that you're taking care of clients and that you're being a personal asset to them, because Frost is about relationships. It's not just about banking the company. We want to bank the person and their family and everything like that, but it's not just banking them, it's taking care of them and providing a service. So it's like when you call Frost, say you call customer service, most of the time you call whatever company ABC and you get call customer service in your call tree. One for English and 2 for this. Press 1 to be handed to a survey after the call. When you call Frost, you call the 1-800 number. You're calling a call center that's in San Antonio, Texas, and a person picks up the phone and go, "It's a great day to bank with Frost. How can I help you?"
Making a living.
Well, you're not plugging in a bunch of options to say, get me to home finance or to credit cards, or it's the person is the first thing that is the button you push.
Just like we said at the beginning, people are craving it.
It's nostalgic. It's like, oh, this is the way you should be.
Is this AI or is this a human?
Right. Well, it's like me and you. It's like, I have your phone number in my phone. If you called me and say, "Hey, Rodney, I need to take care of this," it's going to call my personal cell phone, not my work phone, not my office phone. And I'm going to answer and say, "Hey, David, what's going on? What can I help you with?" And that's what corporate Frost does as well. So
that's great. No, that's good. That's good to know. I think it's there's a lot of banks around here, local banks that have had banners up 3 times now.
Yeah.
3 different name
Yeah.
changes.
And they get acquired and they've
they
moved
get
to something
acquired.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Frost, that's never going to happen to Frost. We're not selling out. We will eventually grow out of the state of Texas, but Texas is a magnificent, ecosystem
Sure.
in of itself.
Sure.
Because there's so much growth, there's so much opportunity. It's extremely resilient versus other parts of the country that are not. There aren't the business safe haven kind of that we have here. So still a lot of opportunity for us to take care of here before we start moving. Maybe at some point, maybe on the other side of the Red River or in Arkansas or Louisiana or something like that.
You're light in Grayson County.
I hope so. I love Grayson County. It's beautiful out here.
Yeah, Grayson and Fannin and all those places.
Yeah,
they could use your branches up here.
I would love to have it. We've got some new ones that are coming up in the north portion in Collin County and stuff like that.
Okay. Anna, that whole area, McKinney, Anna.
Yeah. Salina. I know that there's one going to be going in there. So we're getting closer. It's coming. So
great. Yeah. Great. That's awesome. Well, is there anything else that?
No, I'm good. I'm just happy to be on with you again, and hopefully this one doesn't get erased. And
no, I'll do my best.
But if it did, I'd come out again.
Yeah. The flies were free of charge.
I got flies at my place too.
The feed store effect.
Yeah,
it's fly season. But
it is.
You have a small ranch, right?
Small ranch, yeah. Ranchita.
Yeah. So I think one of the economical things that we've identified here is that this hobby rancher, the people moving up, this economy now is supported on people moving in, and doing the small ranch,
right?
One of our workers calls it the Instagram ranch. It's like they need,
right.
The
TikTok ranch,
the Highland cow,
right.
and the few chickens, and
the Highlands,
the perfect fences and everything else that are going around, and which is great. I mean, we make a living on it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have. I mean, we have 2 I can identify out of, we have 100 customers a day come through here, and there's probably 2 that are commercial level.
Yeah.
Which has changed a lot.
Right.
Because the land's gotten split up and everything, but it's really wonderful to see people kind of rerouting back to this.
It's the nostalgia of it. It's it's getting back to our roots, where we feel the most comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, literally having conversations about culling chickens.
Yeah.
I mean,
I talk to my chickens every day.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like, the amount, the things I know about a cow now,
mm-hmm.
and a horse,
mm-hmm.
And I have horses at our little ranch.
Yeah.
Cows. It's calving time right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's calving. And
mm-hmm.
it's just really cool to see the kids are into it again.
Yep.
Kids are driving the tractors. They're getting dirty.
Mm-hmm. They're not on their phone.
They're not on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just such a blessing.
That is it right there. It's a blessing.
It's fun. I hope we're trying really hard here, and especially in Grayson County, because this is our home, to try to ease the development burden.
Right.
The just cutting every tree down.
Hate that.
Houses and it's, the resources are sparse up here.
Mm-hmm.
Water and everything is a little bit difficult. So that helps. So there's no big developers going, I'm doing 1,000 homes a year. But this area of Grayson County between Howe, Tom Bean, White Wright and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, by the end of 2027, there'll be 3,000 more homes in this area. So, and that's like light.
Yeah.
That compared to Texas, right?
My initial thought was that seems low.
Yeah. That's light. But that's when I have people come in from out of town and they're like, holy crap, like, is every single piece of land for sale? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Well, yeah, it's been sitting in somebody's family for the last, 50 to 100 years. And so they're ready to do something different.
Penny an acre.
Yeah.
In 1897,
right.
It was 50,000 an acre.
Yeah.
I never get mad at anybody,
Yeah.
You can't put yourself in anybody's shoes. The property rights here in Texas are amazing, but it's also the biggest challenge, right? So they can do whatever they want with it. They want to sell it to, a Middle Eastern investment firm for 1,000 home development.
Right.
They're allowed to do it. I mean, there's nothing against the law. Like, ethically, you might get some hate mail.
Yeah.
It's just, they're allowed to do it. And they're going to pay them $100,000 an acre. There's not too many people who aren't signing that. You slide that piece of paper up.
It would be.
I mean, ours is protected. We want this in our family forever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'd have to. It'd be kind of like that scene in Yellowstone when he's like, "Well, I don't know, maybe $9 million," and she's like, $9 million, and he's like, "What? You know, like,
Hold on.
yeah, okay, I'm selling." You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I don't know if there is a number there somewhere, but I don't. You hope that people are kind of hanging on to this now and saying like, "Hey, we're pushed up against the Red River right now.
Right.
Where do we go from here?"
Well, like for me personally, it's not going to be a numerical figure that makes me move. It's going to be the concentration of people around me that would make me move.
Yeah.
I've got to have room to be able to move my elbows.
Yeah. If you want to get lost in the sauce, go 30 minutes south.
Yeah.
You can get all the crowd and traffic you want.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I'm out.
I get to that certain age and it's just like, I don't want, I don't want people around it.
I need fresh air and be able to see the stars at night.
Yeah. 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 I appreciate the tractor traffic on that too here.
100%.
And the people who come in and get education on what a farm to market road means and who's got the right of way. And
right.
Like,
the tractor.
I'm like, you should appreciate it. Someday you're going to appreciate it.
Right.
There's a Costco and 6,000 homes along this road. You're going to want to go back to the days where you were sitting behind a tractor for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I still remember the last time I walked into a Costco. I think the words were, "Put your mask on."
Yeah. Ooh.
Walked out.
We're going to have to go another 45 minutes on that conversation. But,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, man, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been fun. Same as last time.
The partnership.
Absolutely. 100%. We got other things coming. So
try not to screw it up and
you're good.
We're going to have we got a lot. We're going to
have some fun.
We're going to have some fun.
We're going to have some fun.
I like that 100.
It's fun. The whole process.
Did I say 100 million or did I say 25 million?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go to 100 million.
100.
Let's see what.
Right.
Let's see what
then
happens.
Take it public.
Then we're the big corporation that everybody hates.
Yeah. Then take it public and sell out the private equity.
There you go. And here we go. We just went full circle.
Right. Yeah.
So, hey, appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dave.